What's up guys, this is David here from PhoneBuff.com, and today I'll be doing a quick video on how to get better battery life out of your Android phone. So one of the first things you can do to maximize your phone's battery life is to figure out what's using it up in the first place. And to do this, you press Menu from the home screen, go to Settings, scroll down to the bottom where it says About Phone, and under here you're going to look for something along the lines of battery or battery use. In this case it's just battery, and what we're really looking for though is battery use, so I'll tap battery use. And you get a list of what's using your phone's battery. In this case, the display and Android Live wallpaper is using the most. Your phone's probably be a little bit different because I haven't really used my phone since I took it off the plug, but it'll give you a better idea as far as what you need to do to minimize the use of your phone's battery. So you may have noticed that the display was taking up most of my phone's battery, and that's because I have the brightness up high. So one thing you could do to make your battery life last a little bit longer is reduce the brightness of your screen. And to do that, you can go to Menu and then Settings, go over to the display options this time, and go to brightness. So of course mine's all the way up because I'm recording this video, but what you want to do is dim it as low as you can where you can still see it comfortably. But the dimmer you make it, the more battery life you're going to save because it doesn't require as much juice to keep the screen on. Another way you could save a lot of battery life is to make sure that your wireless connections are off when you're not using them. Things like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and GPS. So on mine, they're all off right now, but the way you turn them off and on is you go to Settings, Wireless Networks. So for Wi-Fi, you can see it's unchecked. You want to make sure that's unchecked when you're not using it, same as Bluetooth. And then GPS is going to be under Location. And you can see it says Use GPS Satellites. I've already unchecked it to save my battery life, and that's why it didn't show up under that list that I showed you earlier. So while turning off the wireless connections that you're not using and reducing your screen's brightness seem like some of the more obvious things you could do to save battery life, we'll go over some of the not so obvious things to save battery life, starting with turning off your account sync. And by that I mean your Google accounts with your calendar, your Gmail, and your contacts. Turn those guys off, and that'll definitely save you some juice because the phone won't have to communicate back and forth with the Google server, as well as third-party applications such as news, stocks in this case, or Facebook and Twitter. Of course, you may not want to turn all of them off, but turning some of them off, especially the ones that you don't necessarily need to be constantly updated, will save you some juice. Another thing you can do to save battery life is turning off the vibration on your phone for both notifications and just system-wide. And the reason why you'd want to do this is because every time you receive a text message, for example, the phone vibrates, which takes up power. Or if you do it system-wide, every time you're typing on the keyboard and every letter you type, the phone vibrates. That could take up a lot of battery life over time, especially if you're texting or emailing a lot. So to do this, you go to Menu, go to Settings, go over to the sound settings, and you can see right here it says Vibrate Feedback for Calls and Notifications. I could uncheck it to turn them off. If you just want to turn off the system-wide vibrate feature, you just go to the bottom, it says Vibrate Feedback, or sometimes they'll call it Haptic Feedback, and just uncheck that guy. So every time I tap back, it's not going to vibrate, or when I go on my keyboard, it's not going to vibrate. Another thing you could do is turn off the live wallpapers on your phone, because live wallpapers do take up battery running in the background, and just switch them out by long pressing anywhere on your home screen, go to Wallpaper, and just select another one. And if you have a Super AMOLED screen, I would recommend using a darker screen or a darker wallpaper because Super AMOLED screens don't require the backlight to go on when displaying blacks. So if this was a Super AMOLED screen, these pixels wouldn't be lit up, which in turn saves battery life. Another thing you could try is to delete your widgets, because some of these widgets, depending on the widget, can take up some battery life, like the weather widget, for example. This is constantly syncing with the internet to get the weather. Or if you have a news widget, same idea. So just delete these guys and make sure they're not syncing in the accounts in sync, and it'll save you some juice. Another tip you could try is getting a task killer of some sort to close out apps when you're not using them if they consistently run in the background. So in this case, this phone has a built-in task manager, but you could download one from the market, and you just hit kill all, and that way an app isn't running in the background. Of course, that's not going to stop apps that automatically run in the background from running, but it will stop the ones that you personally ran from staying open in the background, which in turn could save you some battery life. And my last tip in this video is probably one of the most basic, and that's just to get in the habit of turning the screen off when you're done using the phone. So as soon as you're done, tap the screen off, so that way you're not wasting battery life when you're not even using the phone. So I've given you a bunch of tips. Now, of course, you don't have to use all of them at once. You could use them, as you please. Just kind of mess around with them and to figure out, what works for you. But that's pretty much for me in this video. If you want the full how-to article, go to phonewolf.com. The description box has a link below. And thanks for watching the video.